The following special presentation of Hawaiian extreme sports on Hawaiian skies is made possible in part by Olukai Premium Footwear.
Aloha and welcome to this special in-flight edition of Hawaiian Extreme Sports TV on Hawaiian skies. I'm Jen Boniza, and today we take a look at just how far the sport of kite surfing in giant waves has come. We're of course talking about the select few like Jesse Richmond and his friends Patri McLaughlin and Nicolo Porcella, who are brave enough to challenge Jaws on Maui's North Shore. But first, we check out the next big thing in stand-up paddling. We join Lenny himself as he reinvents the sport by attaching a hydrofoil to his stand-up board.
The first time I stepped on the foil, did a downwinder, I instantly saw a glimpse of the future. It was there, and I was like, this is it. This is the future, and this is all I want to do. I've been dreaming my entire life of flying across the ocean, and it's freedom. For me, it's redefined stand-up paddling. The feeling of flight is something I've always chased my entire life, and you know, one more sport to get me that much closer to that dream, it's incredible. You know, on a standard board, you go out there, do a downwinder, you're working a lot to stay on each bump. You know, trying to connect the dots is always what makes you the best. You know, if you can do that and you're willing to work hard and a good paddler, I got up and I was going over glides, connecting past glides. It truly felt like I was just standing there and like walking on water, but going 20 miles an hour. I've never gone that fast downwind before in my life. It was literally like a little scary at first. I'm like, this is crazy. Full on mogul field as if you're a downhill skier, but you're not even hitting the bumps. I vision in 2 to 3 years that nobody is going to be doing it on normal boards. Downwinding is going to be changed forever. We're all going to be on hydrofoils. The fun factor, the speed factor, it's just uncomparable. And this is only the tip of the iceberg. And I'm just so excited to be the one introducing this to the world and to everybody to find new love and enjoyment out of the best playground on the entire planet. At any point, you go down to the beach and you see a pelican, a seagull, flying across a wave and creating lift. And your first thought is, oh, I wish I could do something like that. And then you're out in the ocean and you see a malolo or an Eva bird fly past you and the power they're creating just off of the water. And just a malolo, how it's connecting from water to air. It's a dream I think I've always had and that many people have shared. And we finally did it. We're finally like them. And you know, nature's doing it in better ways, but we're catching up.
This special in-flight presentation of Hawaiian Extreme Sports TV on Hawaiian skies is brought to you in part by Maui Gym, color, clarity, detail.
Absolutely amazing and groundbreaking for the sport of stand-up paddling. Now we'll head to Peahi on Maui's North Shore, also known as Jaws, for its massive winter surf. World champion kiteboarder Jesse Richmond and his friends Petri McLaughlin and Nicolo Porcella push the limits of big wave kite surfing.
In the last 10 years, I've spent pretty much full-time traveling around the world, competing on the world tour, doing different events, and now the last few years more so just trying to find really extreme locations and really extreme riding conditions to test my limits and the limits of our gear and kind of see what you can do with a kite.
Jesse Richmond and myself bought a jet ski together maybe 3 years ago. So we've been on it. Every time we see a Jaws swell and it looks like it's gonna be windy, we get everything prepared and we go out there. So in my opinion, Jesse's the best out there. He's real aggressive, he's doing strong turns and he's trying to get barreled. So he's definitely like the standout guy for me in kiting at Jaws.
I mean, Maui is kind of like the ultimate training ground. You have not only perfect conditions pretty much year-round, but you have one of the biggest, best waves in the world to ride, and that's Jaws, and it's 10 minutes from my house. It couldn't be any closer.
I mean, the anticipation for this winter on Maui was like terrifying. We all knew it was gonna be an El Nino, and we've seen El Ninos on Maui before, and we get swell after swell after swell, and they're massive. So this year, I mean, things went down in different sports that have never happened before. I mean, at Peahi, we saw some of the guys paddling the biggest waves ever paddled, ever. And then for kiting, it was the same. We kited probably the biggest waves ever ridden. Nicolo at Peahi was trying to get barreled, and he came on a big one from really deep, and he realized it wasn't going to barrel for him. And it's a risky thing doing that because you're coming from behind the lip, so you're either going to make it and get a nice barrel and come out, or you're going to get lipped in the head. And he could see he wasn't going to make it, so he tried to pull the eject button and get out of there. And he sent his kite trying to jump over the wave, and he just didn't quite get high enough. And I think he actually went to like the worst possible height he could. If he was a little bit lower, he would have like scooted under the lip and popped out the back, but instead he just went straight into the lip and just did the kung fu kick, and the thing just hit him and pulled him down.
So with a kite, you have the ability to kind of escape different situations, which is really awesome. And it's a judgment call. It's, you know, really split second that you have to kind of decide what your next move is. And there was the possibility that Nicolo might have been able to jump over the wave, and it would have been the cleanest, smoothest, easiest exit. Everyone would have been like, oh, wow, that's cool. I got to see Nicolo's wipe out, and that was one of the funniest, best things I've ever seen with a kite. And only he would come up laughing about it, you know. Really what's excited me the most is being able to get barreled out there. That's the goal. That's always been the sickest thing you could ever do. And I had a few waves this year. I had 5 waves actually that I was able to get barreled on, and one of them I made it out of.
It's a risky thing trying to pull in, but there's nothing that compares to standing there and having 1,000,000 gallons of water throw over your head, and you're in this vortex. You can still breathe, and if you come out of that, there's no other feeling. I can't describe it in words, really.
basically the only way you figure out what's going on is by trying it, like 100%. That's how you're gonna figure it out. And it took me a long time to crash out there. It's really tricky to crash on a kite and in the impact zone, because most of the time you get ripped out of the wave and you're in the channel. So the first session I had where I really went down hard was probably my happiest session out there, because I felt like I got to the point where I'm starting to progress and I could see it, and I'm trying things that I can't do, which means that I'm trying to push my limits. So that was probably my happiest session out there, because as soon as you start crashing is when you're starting to kind of make progress. So.
These guys are undoubtedly at the top of their sport. We hope you've enjoyed this special in-flight edition of Hawaiian Extreme Sports TV on Hawaiian Skies. I'm Jen Boniza. Enjoy the rest of your flight. Aloha.
This special presentation of Hawaiian Extreme Sports on Hawaiian Skies was made possible in part by Breakaway with Bioastin, nature's most powerful antioxidant grown in Hawaii.